Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm called Mugabe Emab, and I'm very glad and excited to present about the pregnancy. In our presentation today, we are going to tackle about the 6 points during pregnancy. First one, we are going to see overview information during pregnancy. Second one, we are going to see maternal physiological change during pregnancy. Third one, we are going to see the weight gain, what is the proper weight gain during pregnancy. Fourth one, we are going to see nutritional need during pregnancy, and the 5 will be the nutritional related concerns during pregnancy, and the last one we have to see the practices incompatible with pregnancy. I hope that this session is going to be interesting for us, and I kindly request you tentatively following during our presentation. Let's get started about the first point we have to cover in that session. First one is we are going to have the overview information during pregnancy. As usual, the pregnancy starts when male sperm fertilizes the female eggs, where the fertilized egg implants in the lining of uterus. A full-term pregnancy, also called the period of gestation, lasts 58 to 42 weeks. Normally we know 9 months. So it is divided into 3 trimesters, which each trimester lasting about 15 to 14 weeks. By going on details how it happens, let us start about the first trimester. When the ovum and sperm unite to form single fertilized cell, that cell it is called zygote. As the zygote travels through the uterine tube, it further divides. It happens about in 4 days. When arrives in uterus by the 10 days, the zygote has the inner part called blastocyte. It implants into the uterine lining, where the outer part is placenta. Further, cell growth, multiplication, and differentiation occur, resulting in the formation of embryo. After embryo formation, here the embryo is made by the 3 layers, which the first one is the top layer, which is called the ectoderms. Second one is the middle layers, which is called mesoderm. The third layer is called inner layers, which is called endoderms. Here, the top layer, which is ectoderm, will give the rise to baby outermost layer of the skin, peripheral nervous system, eyes, and many connective tissue. Where the middle layer of the embryo, mesoderms, will give rise to the baby's heart, primitive circulatory system, and will also be the foundation for the baby bones, muscle, kidney, and much of the reproductive system, where the inner layer, which is called endodermis, will become the simple tube lined with mucous membranes, and lungs, intestine, and the bladder will develop here in the inner layer of cells made by the embryo. This is what I'm saying. It happens during first trimester, where we have seen it lasts on the 15 to 14 weeks. Here, during this time, the embryo is most vulnerable to teratogenous substances and alcohol, illegal drugs, and the medication, megadose of some supplements like vitamin A and certain herbs, viruses, cigarette smoking, and also medication can interfere the embryonic development and cause birth defects. In some cases, its damage can be naturally terminated in spontaneous abortion, or what we call miscarriage, which will occur often in the first trimester. As you have seen, each trimester takes 3 months. Here, at the first trimester, in the 3rd month of pregnancy, marks the transition from the embryo to the fetus, where the fetus requires the abundant nutrient from mother's body to support its dramatic growth in this period, and the placenta is now mature to provide the nutrient to fetus. Let us go to the 2nd trimester. In the 2nd trimester, the fetus can suck its thumb, its ears begin to heal, and its eyes can open and close and react to light. Normally, as you have seen, at the end of the 1st trimester, the placenta was started to work. Here, the placenta is full functional. Let's continue to the 3rd trimester. The 3rd trimester is the time of remarkable growth for the fetus. This is where the fetus gains nearly half its body length and 3/4 of its body weight. Brain growth, which continue to be rapid for the first, second years of life, it's also quite remarkable, and the lungs become full mature. The attention here, because of intensive growth and maturation of the fetus during the 3rd trimester, the mother have to continue to eat adequate and balanced diet to promote that growth. That is what I planned to tell you about the overview during pregnancy. Let's tackle on the point what physiological change happens during pregnancy. We are going to see in detail maternal physiological changes during pregnancy. Mainly, there are the adaptations during pregnancy that the pregnant women's bodies undergoes to accumulate the growing embryo or fetus. This affects almost every function of the body. It means that the normal physiological function of the non-pregnant woman is totally different to the someone who is pregnant. So we are going to see those changes, those physiological changes, those changes in the body happen during the pregnancy, where the women undergoes to accommodate the growing of the fetus. We are going to see how about for blood volume. We see changes in cardiovascular system. We also talk about what changes for respiratory system, what changes in gastrointestinal system, what changes in urinary system during pregnancy, how about skin, how about hormonal changes, how about maternal nutrient metabolism. Let's start about the blood volume and the composition change. During pregnancy, the blood volume increases gradually by 20% in the pregnant woman. It means that the blood volume and its composition increases at least 20% by comparing to non-pregnant women. High circulating blood volume is required to provide extra blood flow from the placenta, so nutrients and oxygen can be delivered to the fetus. The increase in blood volume is also caused by the two changes. First one, increase in volume of blood plasma and the increase in the red blood cell in circulation. Near the end of the first trimester, the plasma volume begins to increase. A smaller increase of plasma volume here is associated with stillbirth or abortion or low birth weight babies. If the availability of nutrients or the synthesis of normal blood constituents doesn't keep space with the expansion of blood volume, their concentration of blood will decrease even if the total amount may arise. This is apparently what happens with red blood cells, serum proteins, minerals, and water-soluble vitamins. Red blood cells are stimulated during pregnancy, but the increase is not as large as the expansion of plasma volume. The amount of hemoglobin in each red blood cells doesn't change, but because of their few red blood cells in blood, hemodilution occurs. Saying that how about the changes for the blood volume and its composition? Let's jump to the changes in the cardiovascular system. Here in the cardiovascular system, let's start about to the heart. There is a slightly cardiac hypertrophy or engagement, which is as probably second to increase the blood volume and cardiac output. The upward displacement of diaphragm by allowing uterus causes the heart to be elevated up to the upward and to the left. About to cardiac output, the amount of blood that is pumped out of the heart, each means increase during pregnancy. About respiratory changes during pregnancy, maternal oxygen requirements increases in response to the acceleration of metabolic rate and the need to add the tissue mass in the uterus and breast. In addition, The fetus requires oxygen and a way to eliminate carbon dioxide. During pregnancy, the amount of air moved in and out of the lungs in a single breath, what we call the tidal volume, increases by nearly to 50% due to factors. Each breath contains larger volume of air, and the rate of breath also increases slightly. About the gastrointestinal systems in pregnancy, the appetite. It may increase, the nausea and vomiting may occur, motility is diminished, and the intestinal secretion is reduced, absorption of nutrient is increased. There's something behind for these changes on our gastrointestinal system is that due to relax of the muscle in the wall of gastrointestinal system caused by the increase of production of hormone called progesterone, and the rate at which the food is squeezed out of the stomach along and the intestine is slowed down. So the slowing down of passage of the food through the gastrointestinal system might be beneficial during pregnancy because it will increase the time available for digestion and maximize the absorption of nutrient from the diet. There is some discomfort happening during a pregnancy, but it's not a problem because it's usual. Like some women experience the constipation, heartburns, nausea, vomiting, but it's not a big problem because it happens in the first month. After it may disappear for some women. Jump to urinary system. In urinary system during pregnancy, the kidney extract waste from blood and turn it into the urine. So they must work extra hard to filter the blood's own waste product from her blood and those from the fetus. To perform this, here the glomerular filtration rate and the renal plasma flow increase in pregnancy due to the increase in the blood volume and cardiac output. Therefore, the increase of the amount of urine produced during pregnancy increases. For the skin changes, the skin of pregnant women undergoes hyperpigmentation as the result of the different hormones include estrogen, progesterone, and melanocyte stimulating hormone level. These changes are mainly seen on the nipples, areola, or umbilicus. The increased pigmentation also may develop on the face to form what we call mask of pregnancy. The activity of sweat glands throughout the body usually increases during pregnancy, which will cause the women to sweat more than usual, in particular in hot weather or during physical work. For hormonal change, most hormones they are proteins and are steroids made from precursors such as amino acid, cholesterol in endocrine gland. Progesterone hormone increase to maintain implant to stimulate growth of endometrium and its secretion of nutrients to induces maternal fat deposition. Also, estrogen is there to promote the growth and control the function of the uterus. and during birth to assist in dilating the uterus, and it's there to increase the lipid formation and the storage. Insulin also in the blood increase, and the placenta hormone is there to maintain the pregnancy. So the metabolism of nutrients like carbohydrate, protein, fat, minerals, and the vitamins also increases to meet with the requirement of the infant and mother. So it's about the maternal physiological changes. Let's go to our third point to be tackled: weight gain during pregnancy. So here, adequate weight gain for mother is one of the best predictors of the pregnancy outcome. Weight gain during pregnancy is the best indicator for the pregnancy outcome. Recommendations for weight gain in pregnancy are primarily based on the gains associated with the birth of the healthy sized newborns. Mainly varies according to the woman's weight before she become pregnant. The good tools we refer about the weight gain in order to recommend, we use the BMI. So for the pre-pregnancy weight status of women, for those who are having normal body mass index, they have to gain the weight normally vary between 12.7 to 18.2. Sorry for this. This range is about to those women which are underweight during pregnancy, where their body mass index is less than 18.5. So for those who have normal body mass index, means their BMI varies between 18.5 to 24.9, they are recommended to gain the total body weight varies between 11.4 to 15.9. For those overweight, means those have BMIs varies between 25 to 29.9 kilograms per meter square. They are recommended to gain total body weight between 6.8 to 11.4. So it is exception to those who is obese. To those who is obese means their BMI is at least 50. Here is at least 30. They are recommended to gain total body weight between 5 to the 9.1. So for the women who is pregnant has normal body mass index, and now she is having pregnant with twins, she might be recommended to get the 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 body weight ranges between 11.4 to 24.5. So we have seen the clear recommendation weight gain for the mother during pregnancy. So here the more weight gains during pregnancy, which is above those who is about the recommendation, then it is associated the difficult for the mother to return her pregnancy weight, and it's more likely to have the outcome linked to the risk of adolescent obesity, and the extra weight also increases her long-term risk for the type 2 diabetes and also hypertension. So by pasteurizing it, the women of normal weight should gain no more than 1.36 to 22.26 kilograms during the first trimester, and during second and third trimester the average is about the 4.45 kilograms a week. This is considered for those who have normal weight health. For overweight women, they are recommended to gain 0.27 kilograms per week. That is which is appropriate. For those obese women should gain 0.22 kilograms per week. So the weight gain, it should be a key factors in other factors to be cared and controlled in order to have the good outcome. You may wonder yourself why the weight gain increases too. Here, back to what we have said before, about the physiological changes, we have seen for those system the many reactions, many changes occur. So here the good answer here is because there is presence of the growth of the fetus, the maternal fat increase, there is presence of placenta, there is amniotic fluid, there is maternal blood, as we have seen the blood composition and volume increase, there is the breast tissue growth, and some extracellular fluid increase. So that is the key rate to the increase of the body weight during the pregnancy. So it's fantastic to have the regular check for the body weight. This will help you to know if you and your fetus you are growing properly, and make in you to expect the good outcome after delivery or birth. So this is about weight gain during pregnancy. Let's jump to the fourth point we have mentioned before: nutritional needs during pregnancy. So this is the point we have to go in detail and tackle in our presentation. So here, the requirements for nearly all nutrient increases during the pregnancy to accommodate the growth and the development of fetus without depriving the mother of nutrients she needs to maintain her own health. With the exception of iron, most women can meet these increased needs by carefully selecting foods with high in nutrient density, where the body maximizes the absorption and minimize losses. The iron needed to be provided in a kind of supplement to make sure all iron needed is completely provided. Let's start about to the energy, as we are going to see how about the energy, how about carbohydrate, how about protein, how about fats, and how about micronutrients, means vitamins and minerals, some minerals or minerals. Energy requirements increase during pregnancy, mainly due to increased maternal body mass and fetal growth. About 1/3 of the increased calories needed in the pregnancy is related to the increased work of the heart. Another third increased energy need for respiration and accretion of the breast tissue, uterine muscle, and the placenta. For the fetus accounts about the third of the increased energy need of the pregnancy. During first trimester, a woman should consume approximately the same number of calories daily as during her non-pregnant days. So, during the last trimesters of the pregnancy, energy needs to increase by about 350 to 450 calories a day. So here it's good to select nutrient-dense foods. Carbohydrates are advised to the intake to be increased to prevent ketoacidosis. This helps maintain the normal blood glucose level, and additional carbohydrate may be needed to support the daily physical activity. For example, those basic foods includes vegetables, fruits, and whole grain product containing fiber, cereals, and a variant of the other nutrients, which are good choice for high carbohydrate foods. Here, the fiber-rich foods might be chosen to avoid constipation. Let's go to proteins. The protein requirements increase due to the protein tissue accretion. There is the rapid growth of the baby, there is development of placenta, there is the growth of maternal tissue, there is the amniotic fluid. So those require the protein for their development, means it's also increased. Protein needs increase about 1.1 grams per day per kilogram per body weight over entire 9 months period. You may find those in our dairy products like meat, fish, poultry, egg. Soya products are also rich sources of proteins. Gymnast, nuts, and some seed. It's also good sources for protein. Let's jump to the fat. Because the new tissue and cells are being built during pregnancy, the adequate consumption of the dietary fat is very important by comparing to the non-pregnant period. So, fat provide essential fat acids that are specifically required for the component of fetal growth and development. Those are the linoleic acid, which is the omega-6 fatty acid, and the alpha-linoleic acid, which is omega-3 fatty acid. It means that because of those fat, it's essential, our body are unable to produce it. So it is needed for the structural component of the cell membrane formation in the brain, in the retina, and the other new tissue of the fetus to be formed. So those two members of alpha linoleic acid, the family of fatty acid, the hexanoic acid and the eicosapentaenoic acid, plays particularly important role in pregnancy. Those two fatty acids, the hexanoic and the eicosapentaenoic acid, during pregnancy are selectively transported through the placenta to the fetus and give adequate amount of intake of this fatty acid. It's good for the women to consume those essential fatty acid. Those essential fatty acid, they mainly found in the oil, which is the liquid at room temperature. You may say olive oil, fish oil, you may say what good thing here to consider is its state. When those fats are liquid at room temperature, that means they are rich to monopolysaturated, then means they are essential for our body, because those those which is bad are solid at room temperature. So recommendation here, the types of lipid during pregnancy are generally the same for the non-pregnant adult, but limit the saturated fat as the trans fat, because they have negative impact on the cardiovascular health. And and the monounsaturated fat should be chosen, as I have said, whenever possible, to boost our health living. Thank you. Let's jump to micronutrients. Here, the needs for micronutrients increases during the pregnancy because of the expansion of the mother's blood supply and the growth of uterus, placenta, breast, body fats, and the fetus itself has been increased. So, the increased need for the energy during pregnancy also correlates with an increased need for micronutrients involved in the metabolism of micronutrients and adenosine phosphate production. Here, the key micronutrient which have the most critical being discussed and they have to be tackled, to be careful is the folate, B12, iron, zinc, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C, and iodine. Let us talk about one by one. Here, let's start about the folate, B9. So, the folate is necessary for cell division. It flows that during the time when both maternal and fetal cells are dividing rapidly, the requirement for this vitamin should be increased. Means it is critically in the first 28 days after conception for the formation and the closure of the neural tube, an embryonic structure that eventually become the brain and the spinal cord. So, means that if there is the deficiency of the folate, there is neural tube defect, which is called the spina bifida, and anencephaly to occur. Therefore, the folate might be consumed in an adequately level to maximize its function. So, folate-rich food includes the liver meat, lentils, asparagus, green leaves, vegetables like spinach, broccoli, avocados, and etc. So, and for the mother, deficiency of the folate can cause what we call macrocytic anemia, which is the form of anemia where it manifested as the production of the larger than normal red blood cells containing insufficient hemoglobin. So these inhibit the adequate transport of oxygen. So let's continue about B12. B12 is also called cyanocobalamin or cobalamin. So this is a vital need during the pregnancy because it regenerates the active form of the folate. Means that it is needed to be consumed because it activates the folate B9, and the deficiency of the vitamin B12 or B12 can also result in macrocytic anemia. The required amount of vitamin B12 can easily be obtained from the animal food sources such as the meat, eggs, milk, and etc. So, deficiency may occur if the women who follows a vegan diet for long period of the time, because of we have seen that the main sources is from found in animal food sources. So if you are vegan, you have to take supplement to maintain your body in a healthy way. So let's jump to the vitamin D. Vitamin D is necessary to help build and maintain strong bone and teeth, and it is very important during fetal development for this reason I have said. So, vitamin D together with parathyroid hormone and calcitonin all work together continuously to regulate the blood calcium level, which is turn maintains the bone health. So vitamin D deficiency may result in impaired fetal growth, fetal bone defect. So We can obtain these vitamins from fat fish like sardines in salmon, and we can obtain it from the egg yolk and fortified milk. And the body can make vitamin D when the skin is exposed to ultraviolet rays. So let's talk about the calcium. Calcium is primarily needed in the pregnancy for the fetal skeletal mineralization and the maintenance of the maternal bone health. So fetal demand for calcium peaks in the third trimester, where the fetal bones are mineralized at high rate. So means the calcium it is needed, or it might be increased for the pregnant women. Let's pass through the next one, vitamin C. Vitamin C enhances iron absorption, and it acts as an antioxidant. Means it donates electron to free radicals, which preventing the damage of the cell and tissue. So vitamin C it might be increased to perform that function. Vitamin C deficiency during pregnancy has been associated with the increase of premature birth, and we can obtain that vitamin C from the citrus fruits as the best sources and some vegetables. Let's jump to the vitamin A. So here vitamin A needed to be increased by 10% during pregnancy because it plays big role to the vision and the growth and differentiation of cells. So vitamin A deficiency during pregnancy is linked to the increased low birth weight, growth problems, and preterm delivery. But the excess, it's linked to be teratogenic substance. You may also find the high vitamins in the fruits and vegetables. You may not go without talking about the iron, zinc, and iodine. Those might be increased to increase the functioning and promoting the body health during pregnancy, because the iron it's increase the red cell mass, and we can say the several inadequate iron intake may cause harmful to the fetus, resulting to the increased rate of birth weight, preterm birth, stillbirth, and death of the newborn in the first week after birth. So it's good to increase the iron intake, and also iodine play a big role for the thyroid function, should be increased, and also the zinc is important in DNA and RNA and in protein synthesis. So this might be increased to maintain the status and to ensure the proper growth and development of both maternal and fetal tissues. So let's continue about some nutrition related concerns here. we are including the morning sickness like nausea and the vomiting of pregnancy. Here there is issue of food craving and aversion happens during that period, and some heartburns may occur, and also constipation. Here we are going to pass through on those quickly. Let's get started about morning sickness. So morning sickness, we include nausea, vomiting during pregnancy. This may occur any time at day, but it can be when it happens several enough, you require to be hospitalized. So no cure, but the symptoms can be reduced. Eat small, frequent meals and snacks throughout the day, as empty the stomach can trigger the nausea. So consuming most of the day fluid between meals and eat small and frequent meal and some snacks. This will help you to reduce that morning sickness. Let's continue about food craving and aversion. So cravings and aversion, they are probably expected to happen due to hormonal induced change and sensitivity to smells. So it's usual for pregnant women. No reason to worry if there is a cravings and aversion. The advice here will be the problem if you don't consume the enough balanced diet to meet your body and the infant requirements. So let's continue to heartburn. So heartburn and indigestion are common during pregnancy because of hormone produced by the placenta called progesterone. This hormone causes the relax of lower esophageal muscle and muscle in the gastrointestinal tract. This causes the heartburn as the stomach acid reflects into the esophagus. So management here: eat small meals, frequent meals, and chew food slowly, and drinking fluid between rather than with meal will just help you to decrease that heartburn. And sometimes it's good to sleep with your head elevated. Let's go to constipation. Constipation, due to production of hormone called progesterone, as we have seen, lead to smooth muscle in the gastrointestinal to relax. Muscle in a larger intestine and the slowing chronic movement of the food residue. This will also enhance constipation to happen. Performing regular exercises and eating enough fibers like 25 to 29 grams of fiber daily, and taking adequate water This will help you to reduce that problem of constipation. So sometimes for the many women, gestation diabetes may occur, but this condition it doesn't happen for every woman, but critically it's good to make sure if you are normal in order to be advised for taking other measurements to maintain if this happen, what you are going to do in order to manage your body. The outcome associated with uncontrolled gestation diabetes, the baby who will be too large due to receiving too much glucose across the placenta and lead to cesarean delivery and come as negative impact for mothers. For managing this, it will be good to manage or to control your blood glucose level. This will help you to avoid those issues. During pregnancy, hypertension, hyperplexia, and insulin resistance, renal disease, it may occur because you are vulnerable to this disease. So it's good to take medical follow-up for every time to make sure if your body health is going well, and if it is not good, and take the measurement and management for your body to undergo in the expected normal condition. I have just told much about two those nutritional related concern that can happen during the pregnancy, but I can't terminate this session without taking a time and talk about the practices that is incompatible with the pregnancy. So there is some habit many people they undergo which is not good for this period. That's what we are going to proceed in that time. First one, I can say cigarette smoking. So maternal smoking exposes the fetus to the toxins such as cyanide, nicotine, and carbon monoxide. This will increase the risk of placenta abnormalities, intrauterine growth retardation, and even preterm delivery. So let's go to another practice which is not compatible with the pregnancy. We may say alcohol consumption. So alcohol is considered as the teratogen substances because they can readily across to the placenta and accumulate in fetal bloodstream. So this can negatively affect to the infant because the fetal liver is not ready to metabolize the alcohol. So sometimes here there is the syndrome which are associated to outcome, which is called fetal alcohol syndrome. This is the group of irreversible physical and mental abnormalities in the infant that result from the mothers consuming the alcohol during pregnancy. Here there is the consumption of caffeine. Many people they tend to consume the caffeine, but during pregnancy, consuming at least about 20 milligrams, 200 milligrams of caffeine per day, this will impair the infant. That is why it is advised not to take about 200 milligrams of caffeine per day. This is also associated with poor outcome. So let's get terminated one, which is called illicit drugs. So illicit drugs, it is a crucial thing we have to avoid during pregnancy, because these may accumulate in the tissue of the infant and the organ, including the liver and the brain. Those are associated for the preterm births, low birth weight infants, and even preterm birth. So thank you very much for this session you are tentatively following. I thank you, and I think if you have just understand what you have said, you learn more, and you are going to take the good decision how you are going to cope with some negative activities you have known, and what you are going to do, and the advice we give you, the individuals and your partners and your friends. This nutrition educationalist still next.